No, I think we just came in thinking we were that team. Coach Nicki said that to us. We came in, we've had good wins and on the road, at home, and we just kind of came in a little too relaxed, forgetting that we have a target on our back.
Jamie, how do you guys kind of guard against that sort of feeling?
To be honest, I don't know because, as you all know, I'm an aggressive defender, and I feel like I got taken out of it pretty early. So I didn't know what to do because, that's me, and, y'all know I really foul, and I blame myself for this because I really foul, and I think that I should have been smarter with what I was doing. But as a team, we need to take more pride in it also. We need to block out. We need to be aggressive also. But sometimes maybe I'm a little too aggressive when I'm guarding someone. So, yeah, that put that on me.
You feel like, are you saying the fouls, the early fouls,
Yeah.
took you out of your game?
Yeah.
How difficult was that knowing, like you said, how you like to play?
It was really hard for me, honestly. I just feel like I couldn't play my game, They're saying I'm holding, and one time they say I pushed, and I'm on the ground, and I'm like, how did I push her when I'm literally sitting on the ground? Like, how? So it was just hard because I felt like they could be physical, but we couldn't.
Jaden, how frustrating was it where, every time it seemed like y'all were getting back into the game, Oklahoma State would just get pulled away immediately?
It's a game of runs. It's a game. That's just how the game goes sometimes. Sometimes it'll be our time to do that, and we just didn't really get that. So it's frustrating, yeah, because, we're like, okay, we're right there. And it's kind of hard because I see it's kind of defeating. And me, Jamie, Say, we're all looking at each other, hey, we got this, we good. And then you see that, and you're like, oh, head drop. So it's just it's more about a toughness thing, how if we want to respond to it or if we're going to just keep going down deeper and deeper.
Yeah, to that point, you mentioned that y'all were kind of looking at each other like, hey, we're good. I mean, when you did make your run in the fourth quarter, are you feeling like, hey, we're going to win this one?
Mm-hmm. The whole time I felt like we were going to win it. You know what I'm saying? I have so much faith in this team and coaching staff. I never thought we weren't going to win. So the whole time, I never really thought hey, y'all, we're in it. We can win this. From the tip-off to the end, I thought we could win it.
Jamie, you were big on the comeback. You had a couple threes there. How frustrating was that to miss the free throws when you had a chance to give you guys the lead?
Very frustrating. I have a tendency of falling on my hand, and, of course, I fall on my right hand. And I think that, I just need to learn how to land better, and I think that affected my free throws. I just got to be tougher, really. I should have not let that affect me so much, but it did.
His hand swollen?
She good. She'll be there for the next game against West Virginia.
Jaden, how do you put this one behind you? Kind of the same way that Nicki was saying you needed to put the wins behind you. How do you put this behind you?
It's a long season, first of all, and it's just, I guess, I hate to say it, but use this as motivation, which I feel like we don't need a loss for motivation, but it's in the past, we can't control it. The only thing we can control is how we react to it.
I think that a lot of people, I've heard them say, that we live and die by the three, which I'm just telling you, if you watch basketball, it's not true. We shoot normally 30% of our shots are threes, so that's not even close to living and dying by the three. And I'm sure, we died by the three tonight. There's some truth in that, but it's not how we play. It's not what we ask them to do. We ask them to take the shot that the defense gives them, and we ask that from players that are capable of making them. And I think sometimes those shots are presented. I didn't like our threes in the first half. We were 1 for 13 from three, and 10 of those threes were without a paint touch. We make threes when we get paint touches. When we touch the paint and we kick the ball out, and then we make the extra or we kick it out, but 10 of those threes were without paint touches. Some of that you're moving it against the zone, but we settled, We played a little too cool for school, and that's my fault. I don't think there was any question that I made them feel like Oklahoma State was good and that if we didn't play well, that they were going to come in here and beat us. I thought they made some big shots, I mean, shot clock running down, 24-foot three by Garzon. We made a mistake there late when Chastain went down. We should have been doubling the heck out of the ball, let alone letting somebody shoot it. When you're playing 5-on-4, you don't worry about the kid laying down. Either the officials are going to stop the game or the coach is going to call a timeout. One of the two things should happen. And so, we've got to take advantage of that. We're trying to win a basketball game. I hope she's okay, but in that situation, it's on them to call the timeout or the officials to call the timeout. So I thought, we played too cool. We played too cool, and then we started attacking. And we got shots at the rim, and we made some short jump shots, and we put some foul pressure on them, and we tied the game up. And then we went under 2 ball screens, we went under 2 ball screens. And, we were late on a switch and let them shoot behind the screen. Like, we gave them maybe two open threes, like 2 wide open where we got beat baseline and Garzon's in the corner and we rotate. We didn't have good rotation in the first half, and she's standing in the corner. She had one in transition. We didn't get out to her. But, I mean, they were hitting shots behind screens. They were coming off the ball screen and settling in behind when we went under. And we needed to activate them downhill. We needed to make them make plays at the rim rather than step into threes. So I thought that was a big mistake by us, And then we came all the way back again, and we were down 1. And I thought Jamie was a big part of that because she was playing downhill and playing aggressive. And we're down 1, and she has 2 free throws with a chance for us to take our first lead since it was 5-0. And she missed them both. That was it. That was the game, I mean, should it have been the game? No. Was it the game? Yes. We can't miss 2 free throws, in a one-point game. And don't get me wrong, I know she wanted to make them. Like, that's not me putting extra pressure on a kid. It's just that's the reality of the game. You get in close games, and you gotta make those plays. You gotta make those free throws. Yeah, I mean, they made big shots. They made big shots against us, and we didn't attack enough. We just weren't tough enough getting downhill. We let them flatten us out. We let us throw it around the perimeter. When we decided that we were going to play downhill, we played downhill.
So did you think they should have stopped it when 12 was hobbling like that?
That's an official's question. I don't know. I mean, to me, when a kid can't move, I mean, look, let me tell you this. In the pro game, it's up to the home team to call the timeout. Like that, they don't stop. Officials don't stop action in the pros, But in that situation, it's certainly up to the officials whether they're going to blow the whistle or whether they're not. But you can't assume as a defensive player that they're going to do anything. I'd like to believe that if that was me, I'm yelling at the official to call a time, and if not, I'm calling a timeout. But it worked out for them. So, I just think we should have taken advantage of it. We should have run and doubled the heck out of the ball. And believe me, we'll have that conversation. You don't have a lot of conversations like that because in college, they're real quick to call jump balls. They're real quick to call, the injury timeouts, stuff like that. So I'm a little surprised that they didn't call it. But if they don't, you got to take advantage of it. I mean,
Defense in y'all's start to the Big 12 has been big for y'all. It sounds like for you it was more about a lack of execution defensively than aggression, right?
yeah, I mean, we've been pretty good through 3 games at personnel stuff. We were late on 11 in transition multiple times. We were not good in our switching situations. We were supposed to be downing screens, and we didn't get screens down. It didn't mean it always hurt us, but I thought our ball screen coverage was not as good as we've been. I thought we told them Chastain was going to back cut, and we got back cut. We told them Chastain was going to drive left, and we got driven by left. And then rotation, and then we don't clean up the backside board. So I felt like we were not very on point at our decision-making in personnel. We weren't great in, and we've spent the last 2 days, here's the thing. We dedicate 70% of practice to defense. At least 70% of practice to defense. So we need to rely on our defense. We need to rely on our defense because we do dedicate the majority of our time to what we're going to face, how we're going to guard them, what their strengths and weaknesses are. We focus on film. We review film. We go back on game day and review film. We weren't good in the first half in our baseline out of bounds D. We just were out to lunch, and we made a lot of mistakes, and that's one of the threes we gave up to Garzon. So we just weren't – they tell you, that's a team that tells you what they're running by how they line up. A lot of times, we run 5 different sets, 5 different plays out of the same set. I mean, you can get our play calls, over time, but you're not going to see us line up and know what we're doing. Okay, you may get our play call, but with the way they line up, where their posts are, we know what they're doing. If their posts are high, they're doing this. If their posts are low, they're doing this. If their posts are ball side, they're doing this. If their posts are diagonal. But we just weren't on it. We weren't talking. We just weren't focused enough that we were letting each other know, hey, this is the action they're about to run. We weren't dialed in. We just were not dialed in, and that's my fault. That's my fault.
Bella had success coming off the bench. I know Janet's coming back for the first time, and obviously Kendra wasn't out there. What's going on with Kendra, and how would you like to see more production coming off the bench?
Yeah, Kendra's out for personal reasons. That's all I can really say. Jana was out for 8 full days, with an illness, and just doesn't have her legs back, I mean, the bench has to be better. But, we got 10 points off the bench. We just didn't play well.
How do you kind of just put this one in the past and look forward to West Virginia, and what are you expecting out of another tough road game?
Every game's going to be tough in this league. Did the men win? Yeah. Good. Different team, just got to refocus. What do they do? I mean, it's not easy to play at West Virginia. We played well there last year, but a lot of new faces for them with the new coach and players coming and going and transfer portal and Quinterly and Madison Smith. We obviously saw a lot of them last year, and last night they were really, really balanced. They got a lot off their bench. Their bench, Diggs and Samuel, and Hemingway's been good. So they're tough. They've put at times 2 and 3 really good quarters against really good teams. I know they got TCU last night, but Dawn does a great job coaching defense. We're gonna have to work to score. We're really gonna have to make them work. We're gonna have to contain their guards and keep Blackston from scoring around the rim. We're going to have to get the ball away from Quinterly some. She's really, really good ball hawk. It's the advantage of playing multiple point guards, as you can get her off the ball instead of on the ball some. But, the thing that we're going to have to get better at is, Sarah had 2 really great games, high production games. And today they were really physical with her. And, kind of held her and grabbed her and came real tight off screens. And she's got to get used to that, I mean, it's, and I thought she was better in the second half. I thought she was a lot better in the second half. Just like, hey, sometimes when someone's that aggressive on you, you just got to put your head down and pick up a hand check. But if you're passive and you play with it, then you're not gonna get anywhere. But if the people are gonna play you that tight, that means put the ball down on the floor and leave them in your dust. And so, I'm pretty sure Quinterly's going to guard her, and that kid is quick and has great hands, and so she's going to get another dose of physical guard play, on every catch. So, we have to be better than we were tonight. Hopefully tonight is that check. Like, we're not in a bad position right now, but you got to protect home court, and we didn't tonight. So it's good that we went and stole 2 on the road, but we've got to be better on Sunday.
Coach, how do you feel like your game plan changes when you play teams like Oklahoma State, who have just a balanced offense, a lot of girls in double figures, average-wise scoring, versus teams like we played in the past?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they're actually a lot like us when you look at their scoring. I mean, mainly I was most worried about the three-point line. I felt like we needed to make them go 2 by 2 by 2. And close to 40% of their made baskets were threes. We just have to do a better job of taking strengths away, which is what we've done a really good job of. And I think we got ourselves in trouble when we went under screens tonight against their shooters. But you got to be dialed in, because it's when you play teams that there's no one you can help off of. You got to guard your yard. You got to be really good in your rotations, and then when you rotate, you got to scram out of it. You got to keep rotating and keep matching up, because you can't quit on teams that can move it and ultimately get to open shooters. And so, Anna, Gret, Aussie, I don't know if that's how I thought she was a huge difference maker for them tonight. I know she had 4 turnovers, but plus 14 in 15 minutes. Like, I just thought she was a difference maker. She came in and got 5 quick ones against us after we got the 5-0 lead. She hit a big 3 late. I thought her 3 baskets were really, really important for them. Really, really important for them.
On the stretch there where y'all did hit like 3 straight three-pointers, were you getting the paint touches there?
Yeah. Like, if you watch that, you see we were playing downhill in transition. Then we're kicking it. Then we're making the extra pass. Now, I wouldn't say that necessarily about Jamie's little step back, when we were moving it, and she caught it in the corner in front of our bench, and she started to go. I told her to be aggressive, and she started to go, and Chastain backed up on her, and she bounced it back and hit that one. But it was because we were playing fast, and there's a difference between just paint touches and is your pace good, and is your pace good end to end, is your pace good sideline to sideline. And the zone keeps our pace sideline to sideline from being as good as it could be, for sure. But I just think we've been cheating, and I say that, like, it's easy to take shortcuts as a basketball player. Like, we execute at the highest level when we stretch to the corners, and then when we swing it, we're rising up out of the corners. When we start on the wing, and then we're rising, and now we're in the slot, and we're outside the three-point line, and we don't have the same ability to slip, twist, put pressure, with the first dribble. It's like, so we've got to do a better job of doing our job and getting the corners covered, because when we get the corners covered and then we go sideline to sideline, we can get back cuts if they overplay, but we can't get back cuts if we're just going to stand on the wing and let people deny us. You got to get movement to get them above you to back cut, and we just, as good as we were executing against Kansas, we weren't tonight. We just weren't tonight, and I thought we let some of their late shot clock possessions affect our pace. Like, you play good defense for 25 seconds, they hit a shot behind a screen late in the shot clock, and then you get that letdown, and you just can't have that. You got to get to the next play, because it was amazing. We were down. What were we down? 8, and it was like a 7-0 run because we got hand check, hand check, hand check, and right like that, we were back in the game. And that's how quickly, when you play aggressively and you play downhill, that you can get back into games. And so, like, we just have to understand that, but we got to understand it from the beginning.